Is that Jab's hero? I feel like I've never seen him play Razor.
I feel like he can play anything.
I mean, he
personally.
can play anything, but would he? Is the real question.
But they're gonna wait and see, and pick the Quap, and just put Ember mid versus that. Like, it's fine. It's not a bad matchup. And flex this Razor. We'll see what they do with it, though.
Fnatic can do like anything with their last pick, eh?
Is there something specific you'd like to see them pick up, though? What are they missing to really round out this draft and make sure it's strong?
Nothing really. Maybe some team fight.
Mhm.
That's about it. But they get the luxury, right, of seeing one more pick, so that will determine a lot on what I'd like to see them pick, right? Because that is the last pick reason. More about like Execration, like what they want here. Unless I got my picks messed up, they do have pick, right, on Execration.
Execration pick lost, yeah.
They have last pick on Execration?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so Fnatic has to pick it, right? So then they have to just do a blind pick here. They see that the Quap is mid. Tiny's probably definitely a carry. And I think they need a support, unless they're gonna run Tiny 4, but probably not.
What do you think about Fnatic's tower push? Like, it looks to me like it's kind of hard for them to siege towers at all with Ember Razor. Or am I wrong?
You're not wrong. It's just like if you do Razor carry, that's just the game you play. And then eventually, like if you're owning, you can get the Aghanim, or you can wait for Roche to drop it or something. But you don't really play to go high ground. You just play to dominate the map and
fight and dive towers and kill and murder. And then when there's no one left alive, then you take the tower. Respect that. Execration are scared if this Ember goes off lane, just banning carries.
You're really stuck on that one.
Hell yeah, I am. Dude.
it is the carry Razor then, it looks like.
New Underlord, let's go! Have we seen that at all yet?
We have not.
region?
Not
Yeah.
in CDPC. We have not seen it. So
That's so hype for me. I
was
love
gonna
it.
say you gotta hype it up because I am a big anti-Underlord person. I just kicked the table.
So last patch we spoke with our DM was talking on Twitter about how much he hated Underlord because you buy like Atos and do your whole combo of like the Firestorm root, reroute, whatever, and it would do like less damage than, I don't know, say like a Mars combo, which is just ridiculous for the amount of net worth you were investing into it.
Yeah.
However, I really like Underlord this patch with his new ult. I think the gate is amazing. The ability to like kind of it's not as of a commitment anymore where you have to ult somewhere and you're just stuck there. You can like go back. You can like pop in for a quick gank and leave. Send your team home to like heal and then they can come back. All these like there's like 100 different uses for it that we probably haven't seen fully explored yet.
You can save people from getting ganked too.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice, yeah.
So your hype is more about that ultimate change and the play possibilities of it, more so than just the potential buffs and things that have happened.
It's super cool, yeah. And like as well, you can like gate to your team and have them come to you. You don't always have to go to the gate. They're just like, I just think the gate's really awesome and I really like it. And it gives damage reduction too when you go through it, which is maybe a little bit unexplored.
But the reason why, like, you made a point about like Mars does more damage than Underlord, right? That is true on some heroes, where Underlord, when he plays against strength heroes, tanky strength heroes, that's where, because it's percentage based, right?
Yep.
That's where he gets all of his spells are percentage based, so Aura too, right? So like versus heroes like Tiny specifically, it does a lot more damage than I think Mars will do to a Tiny. So in general, you are correct. Like Mars will do a lot more damage versus like squishier heroes than Underlord, but it's a good niche pick, Underlord. Pick it versus like these tanky strength heroes.
With this last pick of Leshrac being chosen, it does mean that we have to bring in our casters, Ares, and GoDz. And I want to ask you guys if you really like the Fiend's Gate. Hi, GoDz.
Hi, GoDz.
I've seen you in so long, man.
10 years.
But yeah, Ares, what do you think about the playmaking ability of Underlord now?
I'm a huge fan. I've only seen it once, but I'm excited to see Underlord. I was mirroring Sheepo, her thoughts. I'm so excited for this pick. I think Fnatic, they're going to play really fast. You got Fiend's Gate, you got Coddle Agshard, Ember, Monkey King is super mobile. This last pick, Leshrac throws a big spanner in the works, so I'm excited to see how Bob can play, but I think Fnatic are going to be too fast.
And what about you, GoDz? Do you think the tempo is just unbeatable?
I think Execration adjusted okay. Like they picked like this Leshrac Quap for like have some early mid game strength, but Fnatic have just looked a bit more polished, and Armel's Ember is pretty damn scary. I feel like all these SEA mids, it's easy to say that, but, you know, Armel's a world-class Ember player, so I would favor Fnatic a bit here.
Okay, interesting. For you guys, I want one hero only, Leshrac or Ember. Who do you have more faith in?
Flash.
I mean, Ember.
Alrighty, well, I'll leave you two with the same question as we head into game 1 between Fnatic and Execration.
Thank you, Nat. Parker, where are we siding with this? Are you favoring the Lesher and the Ember in this game? Who's going to have a better time?
I think Ember a little bit. Not like, you know, a traditional game, I think Leshrac has a lot of plays he can make if he's got the right supporting cast to kind of help collapse on his lane, maybe push that mid-tier 1 tower early on. But I feel like with, you know, with the Ember in his supporting cast, the Connell particularly, his game starts to look really good.
We do have, as soon as we get in the game, we get a quick pause. There's our beautiful overview. Yeah, well, I get to be in a position where I get to see firsthand of the overview presence. Thank you very much, Pythian. And they do have a little ways to amp up Lesh, right? Though it's not like a crazy IO, but you've got Abaddon, which is always nice with the Aphotic Shield. You can always Venge swap out if the Lesh is in a compromised position. I think I'm a big fan of the Leshrac. I think it gave them everything they were needing in regards to the last pick. A stun for the Ember, a lot of early magic damage, because Palace is heavily countered a game like this. I think we were kind of expecting, I know the panel, I think Fizz said it, that they were probably going to flex the Tiny, but they've kept the Tiny as the one, so you need Bob to have a really good game.
Yeah, and this seems to be, at times, maybe where Tiny struggles a bit is that you pick him early on for the flex, but the carry role is where he's looked best. So some teams are just like, we're going to stick with him carry. Then other teams are like, you know, let's flex him mid. Execration did that before, and Bob's Tiny did not look good. Some of the teams doing 4-position Tiny, bit hit or miss. So we'll see if this Tiny can carry the game despite the counters. I think, like you're saying, the Lesh, the Quap, a lot more pressure on them. We are seeing offlane Quap, though. Obviously, against Razor, this Quap used to be like the Razor counter for mid lane. You're not quite getting the same out of an offlane Quap, though, as you do a mid Quap. So I'm maybe a bit unsure about how this Queen of Pain is going to be able to do this game, despite having maybe the good lane matchup.
Yeah, and I wonder if they put Tino in an awkward position as well, because this is, of course, not his natural role. And prior, when he was back on Execration and playing the position 3, they were giving him a lot of just the strength offlane initiators, and we've kind of seen that. Hero pool is being a little more diverse, and I think a way for me to look at that is I've seen him play Necrophos a couple of times, and I think that hero is very different to any other offlaner and how you just look to play. So this is a test for Tino in particular, and I'm also excited to see Shanks, though, on the Venge. This is also a hero that we're seeing picked up a little bit more, but played as a position 4, very greedy. It is something that Execration have been picking a ridiculous amount lately in third-party tournaments, so.
Yeah, I'm super hyped about Venge just as a hero. I think 3-position, 4-position, but make sure the hero gets farm, because that Ag Scepter is a complete game changer. It's one of the biggest, I think, Ags improvements like that exists in Dota right now. 4-position, you get it a little bit later, but the idea is you can just be like, you're a support Venge, but you can kind of just frontline. Your goal is to die, so you can just get like 2, 3, 4 rounds of spells with your buyback, and it wins you team fights.
I'm concerned they're not going to get to that stage, though. You have so much mobility on Fnatic. I really think as soon as Ag Shards picked up on Coddle, they're going to be everywhere across the map. Fiend's Gate, the TPing from Januel, Monkey King has so much mobility, Ember as well. And then for Execration, you got some pretty immobile heroes. Abaddon's not too fast, Tiny's not fast, Venge is not fast. I'm super concerned that Fnatic are just going to pull them across the map, and this could get to a position where we feel like Fnatic just have such a huge lead early.
Yeah, and that's where I hear like Razor can really shine. Like, yeah, the Razor matchup versus the Quap isn't great, but against the other heroes, there are these kind of more static heroes that you can always just run out with your static link and BKB and cause some problems too. We saw Razor last series look absolutely dominant, and I'm kind of expecting a bit more of the same here with Ravens.
How are you anticipating, though, this matchup, I guess, to fare? Is actually wait a little bit with some of the contestations over the runes. questioning on how this mid matchup is going to fare with the Leshrac versus the Ember, because I feel like that's the most important lane for either side. Leshrac to make a lot of the plays and for Ember to get active early. So, do you give the edge to anyone?
When it comes to the mid matchup, it's like one of those things where Ember's going to want to maybe be a bit more active early on going for ganks in the side lanes, whereas Leshrac can punish that either by pushing mid tier 1, or we're going to see Bob rotate, usually to the off lane, to try and take that early tier 1 tower. It is going to be the Abaddon helping out the Queen of Pain too, so that's definitely a lane where we could see, like, you know, early Edict rotation from Leshrac, take a fast tier 1, and try and control the enemy jungle.
Do you feel like there's any reason of why they've put the Abaddon down with the Queen of Pain and the Venge up top?
I think it's this Monkey King. I don't think they want to double melee against Monkey already. Like, DJ's causing Palace some problems with the constant harass, so it seems like they feel like the defensive melee support... I mean, typically Corp wants that melee 4 who kind of sits in front and soaks up spells, and for a hero like Tiny, well, against Monkey, you don't really want another melee hero. Double melee against Monkey plus Underlord. Like, you get a second point in your trophy aura, that's going to destroy the lane.
Yeah, we saw Palace while he was trying to step into the lane. It was just DJ continuously right-clicking. I think he got 2 full Jingu stacks to work with. We're going to see that continue to be the case. And he's even thinking about an Orb Corrosion early for DJ, so the harassment's just going to continue to ramp up.
I think Palace is going to maybe need an early point and toss and try and make some toss into tower plays against the Monkey, but DJ is going to be aware of that. He's going to be playing more carefully at level 2. Down bottom, Fnatic getting a lot of harass off the Plasma plus Chakra. Like, you don't even have to play around statically. That's where I feel like this Quap into Razor is not as good in the side lane, particularly when there's a Coddle, because this Razor is going to spam Plasma field for days. Plus the Illuminate harass, they're going to have to bring so much regen to this lane, even with an Abaddon.
Yeah, and we've seen kind of the Razor over time. It's very much transition into this. You have the potential to max out Plasma field, which prior you were relying on. Oh, there we go. Toss back DJ. Under the tower is going to try and play off the Jingu stacks. Actually, Fnatic, they try and turn it, but the mischief is not enough to keep his life as an Execration finding our first blood.
They needed that. That's exactly what I was hoping would happen, because DJ was causing so many problems at the early levels. You see Underlord 14 3 CS crushing his lane, and it's because DJ was playing so far forward, but you've got to punish it, and toss back with the Venge playing by the tower is the perfect way to do so.
Yeah, without a doubt, you can... I was actually going to say, like, maybe Venge can get Palace in, because he hasn't gone boots first, so is there going to be an issue without, like, a magic missile for Palace to actually get that toss?
Yeah. I think best case scenario, you want to save the stun to stun them underneath the tower.
Sure.
And because DJ's a melee, like, you just can't Venge at the tier 1 tower, and anytime DJ tries to harass Palace, he goes for the toss back if there's no creeps. But we're seeing it again, top lane. There we go. This time they throw the stun. DJ should live here, but he'll take a lot of damage.
And that's the main thing. Now DJ, with not having too much health, well, I guess he's got 5 tangos and a Selv, so he's brought out plenty of regen to be able to sustain. But that's ideal. Like, you either get the kill or you bring the Monkey King down really low, because then he can't do these shenanigans where he just bodies Tiny in the lane.
Now, a bit of a nice zoning job by Bob, using that early 2 points in Edict to keep Armel away. Armel had to go steal a bounty rune just to refill his bottle, but his CS is fine, so despite getting harassed a lot more, his mid lane's going all right here.
You brought up the potential for the Leshrac with his edicts down bottom. Do you feel like this is more likely than maybe some supports coming mid to try and put pressure on the early tower with the catapult timing?
I think supports coming mid is an option, but they don't have, like, the best hero to, like, dive the tower. And unfortunately, heroes like, you know, Coddle can rotate. They've got so many good heroes to defend towers, like Blast, Firestorm, you know, Razor. Well, I don't think Razor's rotating mid, but pretty much all of these Radiant heroes defend towers really well.
Dire structures are fortified.
I'm just going to get a lot of damage on Armel. A slight dodge, however, but still, you see the Edict continuing to stack up with 3 points in it. And top lane Palace is also starting to get chased down. Stuck inside the Firestorm, we're seeing the damage considering it stacking up, and oh, Palace, oh, the pathing.
Yeah. Not sure how very quick to turn around there. Yeah, they're getting kills all over the map. That is concerning. I mean, the Tiny kill, a big one. The Abaddon kill, not the biggest deal in the world, especially if Queen of Pain continuing to get some kind of good farm in lane. But we're gonna have to see Execration try find a way to really give Palace a good time, because we've touched on it a few times. This is not an easy Tiny game.
seems like they've recognized this as well. Fnatic, they want to continue to put him in the bin. Just double camps blocked up by the triangle. So Januel, really nice rotation. He can do this as well because of the lane positioning for Raven. So he's not worried at all about the Razor being zoned out.
The big one I'm curious about is maybe if Leshrac beats Ember to
Top
level
again,
6.
What the heck?
But yeah, in the mid lane, level 6 is coming soon. Bob gets it at the same time as Armel. If Bob actually got level 6 first, he maybe just solo kills him there. But I feel like Leshrac mid matchups, often it's like about this level 6 timing. And luckily for, maybe not luckily, I mean, Armel knew he was about to hit 6. He kind of calculated that he'll be fine because of his level 6 coming out as well.
See, DJ is starting to scout Shanks. Let's see if he just blocks the camp, or does he actually try and set up and stealing something else? Yep, block the hard camp, get the bounty. Really nicely played, because you're looking to amplify Bob, who should pick up a kill key off the back of the haste. He's able to connect with Shanks. You stay in the air to try and get some farm as well. I've been a huge fan of Leshrac on Dire just because of how easy it is for you to ramp up in farm. And hang on a second, Bob's moving top. Jabs is going to be the target of the level 3 edict. This is a exceptional rotation from Bob, securing a double kill.
That shouldn't happen though. Like they, you know, they see the haste rune. Like he kills DJ with the haste rune and then he just runs top. Obviously he's got a haste. But...
Shanks. A bit of trouble. He's got Vincenzo that can step in. Fnatic with 3 heroes. Feel like this is not enough to kill off the lads on Execration. He's kind of pushing them back from trying to hold this tower.
And yeah, this is what you want to try to do when Leshrac rotates top, doesn't keep you back in, but they're not getting any damage out. There's no siege wagon or anything on their side, so great job by Execration just to avoid giving up any kills. They know their tower's not under any pressure, so just across the map, good plays. Bob particularly getting great value out of a haste rune.
Smoke. DJ prime position. Oh, Monkey King, what a hero. What a hero. What is he doing?
Playing with him.
This guy's crazy. And now Armel. Do they go for Bob or Vincenzo? Leshrac's definitely priority number 1 as DJ starts. Even Jab's going to make a rotation. They can get rid of the pit. Bob should be okay. I love what they're doing. Abaddon Lesh together looking to enable his Genuel. Ooh, wait. Dino, he got the kill. I thought he TP'd out, still dropping the ultimate across the map. Paulos steps in and Execration hitting back. They get a 3-for-0 trade.
Yeah, and Fnatic were the ones who start that. They see this Leshrac and even saw the Abaddon next to Lesh and still thought they could go in. Big mistake there. I mean, Vincenzo just, that was what Abaddon's job is. Just shield, your Lesh gets changed, just shield him up. He gets to turn and fight. Suddenly Lesh is unkillable. And Execration, yeah, 3 unanswered kills. Just bringing in the whole squad, all 5 heroes. I guess the only real trade that's happening on the map is Raven was free farming while that's going on, which is going to become a bigger and bigger problem. Like, this Razor's going to hit this BKB timing and be pretty damn scary, but that's the exact kind of fight you want if you're Execration.
You see with this maxed out plasma field how much farm Raven is really looking to get. Would you feel... Wait, mid lane, Bob. A lot of damage as well. Touch from Armel. It's going to have another slide up shortly, but it is only level 3, and without the Orb of Corrosion, it's not drastic amount of damage. Oh, DJ. Oh, yes.
It's pesky, but I'd say so far he's in a losing battle with a lot of these trades.
Also setting up for a kill.
Good. Yeah.
This is important. They've got 4 heroes connecting. Bob's going to mirror this. It's always awkward with the potential slight dodge, but it has disrupted the thoughts on Fnatic. Trying to bring down Palos is attempting to try and cut down DJ, picking up a tree.
Execration been on point. Every time their jungle gets invaded and DJ tries to set something up, they're rotating over, helping people out, using the defensive shields and just bringing the Leshrac in for the firepower to scare everyone away. It feels like every time the Emperor sees the Lesh, he's like, okay, I'm out. Can't fight this guy.
I'm really intrigued to see when Jabs feels like it's at a stage where you go for a level in Fiend's Gate. I've really not seen the Underlord. I think I saw him once like a couple of weeks ago, so I'm really unsure. As Bob might solo kill Raven in the jungle. Hang on a second. This is your most farm hero on Fnatic, and Bob's just tearing him apart just like that. And now Tino's onto Januel as well. He's already TP prior, so this should be a solo kill for the position 3, and we were kind of questioning the off-lane Queen of Pain. He's not looking the greatest in net worth, but Tino still showing that can have some impact.
That particularly that Razor kill is just massive. Like Fnatic right now are like having these kind of bad kill trades, and you know what they're getting is this free farm Razor, but when he dies there and gets solo kill, that's so much golden XP going Bob's way. He gets to rotate down bottom now to take a tier 1. It just feels like Bob is having the dream Leshrac game so far, and there's just nothing on Fnatic's side to answer him, at least not until they get one BKB and probably a couple BKBs. Ember's going to need one as well this game.
And again, we have to go back to mention that Bob, I don't think they're going to have an easy time killing him with the potential swap save. The Abaddon is also like standing hand in hand. I've been very impressed with Vincenzo's positioning so far, and if that's anything to continue through this game, if it can keep playing like that, then that's really a great way to have Bob just take over.
Oh, for sure. I imagine wherever Bob goes, Vincenzo will shortly follow. For now, he's sitting up top, but you want to make sure that your Abaddon's constantly playing around the slash if you're making aggressive moves. For now, Execration.
Does he drop Sonic Wave on Genuel? Oh, you bet he is. That should tick him out. He's been locked down the once. He doesn't have the greatest mana pool as well, along with no reinforcements nearby, but he's going to go for a heads-out TP. They don't have to chuck it or refresh their chains, and Tino's out and drops some voice lines along with it.
Well, I love a well-timed voice line, and perfect. Running some calculations so he knew he was TPing out in time, and Fnatic are just chasing ghosts around the map right now. They are not connecting with anything. Like, you know, I think DJ's done a good job getting his team information with this monkey, but it feels like they're trying to use his information to set up kills, and it never actually connects. It never works. So just some, I think, poor execution, just misreading the situation a lot of the time when they go for these games.
He's reading this. Oh, when he hops down from the tree, we'll still see Shanks. Got Bob nearby, swap close. Nice play from Shanks. Okay, their communication with Execration is on point to start this game.
Yeah, it's always great to see these teams who are like insta-casting stuns on a swap target. I think we saw it the other day with a team who had bench with Sancting too, and makes such a big difference because, I mean, right now there's no BKBs up, but later on there will be. Yeah, Fiend's Gate.
Palas, hello! 3 heroes instantly on top of the Tiny. What an opener of the Underlord's ultimate. And Palas, he's nowhere near the tier 1 tower, but the first TP is Vincenzo. So as the shield, Palas gonna toss away Armel, but the continuous damage ramping up as Raven finds a big one. That's just to rectify that previous death from the Razor, and now he's back up to second in net worth.
Back online, close and closer to the BKB. I think that's when Fnatic will feel really confident, but also a little bit pressured to make active plays. They don't want this game to just drag out too much, but if it's dragging out and they're getting a farm lead killing the Tiny, then things start to look okay. Now, there's lots of remnants here, but there's a lot of heroes collapsing on the Ember.
And he's falling pretty low. Tino pump faking. Does he want to jump over? Sided a couple seconds to dodge. Oh, Mel! And the bruiser stunned them both! Oh no! And he drops his own voice line. He's like, alright, there you go. There's that well-timed voice line, Parker.
Oh, you're gonna love it when the neutrals get involved. Nothing like a well-timed neutral spell to mess up a gank there. And he was it was one of those things where the first time pump faked it, he bit the bait. He remnanted away thinking he was about to get Sonic Wave. And I think the second time, Tino's like, okay, he's gonna expect me to, pump fake again. I'm just gonna throw it, and he won't react. But Armel, mechanically one of the top SEA mids.
They scanned.
That's a big kill.
They knew heroes were there from Fnatic. It's got Yules and Vincenzo nearby, so Bob maybe just spring a bit of a trap, seeing if they overstay.
Okay. Good understanding of his limits there. Obviously, not like they get anything out of it, but at least he knew that he was going to be okay there. They had the Venge swap if things got really hairy. But see where things go from here. I think Fnatic's still looking for particularly the one BKB timing, the Razors, before they look to take their next big fight.
Where is the place that you expect Fnatic to smoke with this BKB now on Raven?
If they want to try to get a read on where the Tiny is, like the enemy triangle, always a good option. I feel like it's tricky because this mid-tier 1 tower still standing is something that Fnatic do need to prioritize. It's very healthy. They don't have the best pushing heroes. But here we go. Here's the smoke. They get the BKB, and they're smoking straight towards that triangle as mentioned. Palos is there. He's going to be careful. But
No,
Vincenzo, he reveals it.
Beautifully positioned from the Abaddon, and they're like, all right, if we must get a kill on Vincenzo, then we will. Of course, it's going to take quite some time, which will give Palos an opportunity to take away the stack. DJ's continuing to scout out.
Yeah, Vincenzo got in position just in time. They almost snuck by him. And if they snuck by him, I think they actually managed to get on top of Palos. So.
Playing Atos real. DJ's going to hold the balance to the last second. Tino, is he going to get brought down through the combo? A nice defensive swap from Shanks. Puts his body on the line so Tino can escape. But they need to convert this into objectives now, Fnatic.
See the potential there with, you know, the Atos build. It's a lot of consecutive disable. They're gating down bottom.
Oh, Palos
And with an
again.
Ember.
And a lot of them, their TP's on cooldown. So Palos this time is not going to have the Abaddon that can join him in jabs once again, showing how strong this Fiend's Gate can be. Now, do they go back to mid?
Yeah, let's go through
play.
it. No, it wears off. Okay. Tino was there waiting like, all right, who's coming through? I'm ready. But I would love to get this mid tier 1 tower. And on the Execration side, it's not going to be the easiest hold, though.
Tino's going to pounce. The ward on the high ground, so Jab's the initial target, but Bob's not there to follow up. They're requiring the Leshrac Stemmer to try and bring down the Underlord, and they're unable to do so. Maybe with a double Sonic Wave. The Queen of Pain falls to the neutral.
Oh.
What? What's going on?
neutrals.
Fuck her.
There's a third team playing Dota this time around. Abaddon, no ultimate, should be going down here with the Chakra on Armel. They need another Sleight of Fist. Has the Illuminate damage.
The raindrops, not enough. Now Shanks is falling low too, actually swaps himself into the pit. And DJ's gonna go for it under the tower. He's now got vision on Palos. Bob's gonna try and lay down the stun, but oh no, we cut down the tree, but it will not matter. It's 5 heroes on Fnatic, just overwhelming Execration. A T2, who cares about that? They want blood, and they'll find it as Palos drops for another casualties. The bodies continuing to litter the ground, and Armel ends up being the victorious person with an ultra.
Woohoo! You know, they chase pretty deep there. It works out, though. You kill the Tiny. They do lose the Razor because of the dive, but I think for Fnatic, you know, they're kind of feeling themselves. When you're diving, killing off 4 or 5 heroes, you're pretty happy with how things are going, and DJ almost has a Diffusal Blade after that fight. A lot of emphasis, though, once again, it's on this mid-tier 1 towers. You take those, and it just completely opens up enemy access to their jungle, so we'll see if Execration can finally get this mid-tier 1 tower, or if it's going to be Fnatic once again fighting back and going for the tier 1 tower of their own.
Not the greatest rune too. Honestly, actually, Illusion's not bad for chains, the pit. So you actually get a little bit of value out of this if a fight does break out. Is Vincenzo yeah, maybe not a higher gun you want to run to, because he does have some heroes behind. But all the vision they need to take the fight. Execration feel like this is not a position, as the pit by the stairs means that no one can enter the river.
Yeah, they're just finding a lot of picks wherever, and you still that much damage on Razor. There was no real way Execration can engage in. At this point with the BKB, like, Leshrac can't run in anymore. Even with the, you know, even if Abaddon's alive and you've got shields to back you up, you're going to melt to this physical damage. And usually, that's fine. You're not going to, you know, you just fight back and you kill people faster than they kill you. But the BKBs kind of change that equation and make life a lot more difficult, I think, for these upcoming fights until Execration gets some decent physical damage on Palos, which is going to take a little bit of time.
An issue is also just, this is a very action-packed game. We've got 23 kills, 19 minutes in. It's an issue that Shanks is not really getting as much farm. Like, this Venge wants a really slower paced game so you can get that Aghanims, and then that's really the only item you need. But Radiant, they are not going to let that happen.
Yeah, this seems to be the new Fnatic playstyle. We saw them talk about in some interviews where it's like they want to play this patch with constant fighting aggression. They're not picking the greedy Raven carries. They're playing Razor. They're playing Armel's Ember. They're looking to just find kills and fight, and the next kill they're looking for is top lane Quap.
They have
Chain
enough
root.
stun lock, or Armel the second to TP in. Yes, sir, they do. This Azos pickup from Jabs is perfect in a game like this.
It's like, what, almost 5.5 seconds of disable with the roots, and you chain it together.
in the river. Raven's going to be able to protect him. And now with the Fiend's look at that. Oh, straight to the back line. That's disastrous for Execration as all of a sudden 5 heroes knocking on your front door. They've got a glimpse. Oh no, they caught a glimpse of Palos! He wanted to enter the fight with the Shadow Blade, but he won't have an opportunity as there's the fast-paced play. Armel, godlike 20 minutes in.
This disaster for Execration. Anytime somebody shows their face, they're just being ran at. Like, the way this Fnatic draft works with this 4-position monkey, he's just constantly scouting everything out, setting up these fights. This time around, they kind of look to start on the Ember, but with Raven there with the BKB and the Fiend's Gate just gives him this global potential to always be ready to take a fight.
The Fiend's Gate is stupid. It's ridiculous. Take you 3 seconds to channel in.
Yeah.
It's literally a relocate, if I remember correctly. Wait, hang on, I need to double check now. How long's relocate? It's 3 seconds maxed out. But you don't get just 2 heroes. You can have the whole bloody goddamn team TPing behind a tower. And we're seeing how GoDz is making it look super good.
Oh yeah, I like it, the changes though, because it's just like it encourages and promotes this like super fast-paced Dota, which is something Underlord used to be this snooze over here where you're turtling up with a hard carry, defending towers with Firestorm. You're not playing aggressive with Underlord. This new Underlord, it feels like that the ultimate synergizes way better.
Parker not again.
Oh,
Palos is going to run into the mall. And
can't afford to die.
Execration, they weren't reading this. They were smoking to bottom. They weren't ready from Fnatic to bring the aggression to their own jungle. Palos, his 6th death of the game.
Oh, you hate to see it. That's real rough.
Now Roche, and now Roshan, no contestation. It seems like they've got such good vision across the map. Fnatic can lead in and looks like taking without contestation.
Which way it goes. Like a godlike Ember, you may just want to give him the Aegis here. It's a pretty big streak to lose, but at the same time, raises your carry running in, so it does seem like Raven may just be the better choice for this Aegis.
Ravens just needs one more perseverance and then he has the refresher, which is scary, scary stuff. I'm worried for Execration.
It just feels like Execration can't get farm on the map, because if they show under a ward or show in a creep wave, Fnatic heroes are going to be quick to just make their move over towards anyone.
Rule of invisibility.
You're hoping for this Ags timing to come out shortly for the Venture Spirit.
Yeah. I mean, this is crazy. This is a crazy act. It's one of the best in the game. But it's at some point, it's like if you're behind, like your illusion's just gonna die instantly as well. So they need to get a big fight with it. I think ideally you need Shanks to get Ags and also be playing with buyback at some point, because that's where things get really insane with the Venge Ags, is when you've got like the 4 lives and 4 rounds of spells. But we'll see if he can get there or not.
Wait, Parker, look at this. This is really cool. Okay, so Raven showing 3 heroes of smoke, but he's got the Underlord that can Fiend's Gate in. This is an awesome move from Fnatic, but it is going to get scouted out from Vincenzo. Armel runs into Shanks. Tino's going to follow suit as well. Armel's got a couple of heroes behind, but there's the Fiend's Gate straight into the middle. And now with Jab showing up, he's got all the control required, but Tino just getting the BKB delivered, so he's able to get out to safety along with the kill on the Coddle.
Cute from Fnatic. I liked it. I thought it was going to work out better, but they only trade support for support in the end. And they did have to use BKB on Queen of Pain there. Fnatic don't have the they don't really have any. They have no control for BKB, so definitely something Execration can get some real value out of. But unfortunately, they're carrying their mid and not really natural BKB heroes. At least they want to get other items first. Leshrac will start working on one, but it's going to take some time.
Prepare for a lesson.
Does the Tiny need any particular item to be able to fight into the Razor, or are you reliant on kind of your supports to deal with the static lane?
I think it's the supports, like you say. I don't think there's an item that solves the Razor problem as Tiny.
We're seeing the Razor just beat down onto Vincenzo, stealing all the damage you require for this potential fight that's going to break out. DJ is going to give them vision along with Armel. He won't get lucky with the chains, unfortunately.
Okay. More for now for Fnatic. We'll see if they can get any more out of this Aegis here. Taking just a tier 2 tower to get outpost control may be... Yeah, they're pinging top tower. I think they're just like, okay, they're playing bottom, they're playing keep away. Let's just play the objective Dota, because they had like a 4K gold lead. It's actually down now to just 1 to 2K. So but some of Fnatic's lead is slipping away a little bit.
Setting up bottom. Underlord tapping to the outpost. DJ providing them vision for the team fight, but Execration. They have the heroes nearby, so they'll cut down the tree. There's the Radiant. Too late to show up. They just want the tier 2 top instead.
Yeah, it's good counter plays from Execration. I think understanding they can't afford to be split up too much. They're playing down there with like 4 heroes their entire draft.
Actually,
Because...
but going on Bob is a bit difficult, but they have the ward on the high ground.
They're all here though.
Run a decent amount away. Yours to give him some time. He's got the Abaddon. In fact, it's also now with a swap away, so Bob's going to be able to survive. And now down to the south, it's Raven doing God's work. BKB static linked up. He'll solo through Shanks, and they're eyeing up Pelos next. Armel's going to be cautious. A big streak if they give it over. Tino's eyeing him up. Down in the tree line, Tino jumps. Does he have the damage? Scream up in a couple of seconds. They'll whip him down, and he pops. Vincenzo gets the streak. You know, Execration. Onto Raven, but a BKB out, still at the Aegis.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
A great, I mean, Execration, they're playing around their high ground ward. They're playing as a team, basically negating the impact that this Fiend's Gate can have by always having numbers. Like, that ended up being like a 4v5 kind of fight because they'd already killed the Monkey King, but they just destroyed. They kill everyone except the Razor. Also just great target prioritization. They know this Razor has Aegis, so they just don't throw too many spells at Raven and deal with the rest. Keeping the Leshrac alive as long as they did, using the Abaddon to full effect, was just a game changer there.
Yeah, I think they might think twice now about using the Fiend's Gate to bring down Bob's Leshrac. Just how fast he is. 415 movement speed. You see he just vacated away from the area instantly. So I feel like the only time you're going to do that is maybe if the Monkey King can start with a Boundless or the Ember can start with the Chains.
Yeah, it felt like they get too excited because the Fiend's Gate also gives them a buff, like the damage reduction and movement speed. So they're like, oh, you know, we can run into a Lesh. We got damage reduction, but did not work out too well.
Well, DJ just took a bounty in front of Vincenzo, and oh, he's also going to die for his sins as well. And then look at DJ, man. He's doing so much. He also pounced to the northern side to see if there were any extra heroes, maybe someone that could catch, or Execration seeing if they could jump in to protect Vincenzo, but Parker, that was the Aegis advantage, and it's Execration that come out ahead through the 5 minutes, and now they've got the net worth lead.
Yeah, and they basically brought themselves back in this game during the Aegis time. Like, the last 5 minutes has been the best 5 minutes of this game for Execration, so Fnatic just not getting any value out of the Aegis and making a few bad calls with some of the fights they're taking. I think they really need to fight around DJ's vision.
He runs straight into Fnatic,
no
and he
BKB.
doesn't have the BKB, just short of the recipe gold, but he's got Shanks nearby. Tino's going to tip in, swap away, not really giving Pelos much breathing room. That's where the Sonic Wave can try to push back Fnatic, but they're going to fly over the tree line as Armo swipes away the kill, and now Shanks, that's the next one they're looking over to. Of course, the illusion soon to pop out, but with all the heroes on Fnatic, they can instantly wipe that out too.
I think, again, these moves need to happen with DJ kind of leading the charge, or at least with him alive, because his hero is so crucial on the trees. Bob top. Ooh, TP's away from the Fiend's Gate. Ooh, that was a little scary for Bob, I'm sure. But yeah, DJ's vision is what sets up these good fights. Like, down bottom, they lost DJ when he jumped in, and then they still chose to fight after losing the Monkey King. They can't afford to, like, not fight with him.
A very even ball game though. Minimal net worth lead. Execration the ones with the probability at this stage, but Fnatic going to continue to use their vision. Bob's got Vincenzo behind him, so not the easiest kill. Trying to force out maybe a BKB, but Bob will be required to do so.
Get the D-ward, and they're pressuring bottom. Tino using the Quap just to get some split push going. Not easy to catch this Quap now that she has BKB and Lotus. I love the Lotus pickup against the Underlord. Definitely an item you always want to have just to help out your teammates. And at this point, Tino, the expectation shouldn't be for him to carry this game. He needs to enable the Tiny in these fights so that he isn't just trapped in an endless pit of Mallet's root combo.
Got a lot of action we haven't really had an opportunity to speak about Genuel's item build, but he's gone for that. He went for the Helm of the Dominator first before the Shard. Do you feel like there's any neutral item that is, neutral creep that he's really looking for as Raven? pressure starting on Vincenzo. Armor flying over to hold back Execration as well, but Raven is just tearing apart the Abaddon. 168 damage stolen. Now with the spider legs, how do you deal with the Razor? That's where Palos can maybe hold him back. Oh no. Out to the left. DJ looking to pounce as well, continuing to stalk. Shanks once again brought down, and they can turn to the illusion now afterwards. They're playing, oh man, DJ down to the low ground, boundless out. Palos now just has to stand his ground and force the man fight. They've got Tino looking to jump in as well with the protector with the BKB, respecting Bob and Palos' damage. So Fnatic is going to look to TP out, but they will not be successful as Bob puts an end to that.
Woo, they're fighting back. Razor chases too far, and those BKBs were off, and suddenly things can turn back the way of Execration. Bob just having a fantastic game on this Leshrac, making a lot of early moves and just really pushing his hero to the limit with the backup that heroes like Venge and Abaddon bring to the table.
I must say I've been pretty, like, even though Palos has died 7 times, the past couple of fights we've seen him have some impact as well, which is scary, but whenever the static link is being used and it's not on Tiny, then that's really when Palos has an opportunity to actually have a decent fight.
Bob tries to fish in the trees for DJ, but DJ's already out. It's always such a challenge to catch any proficient monkey player in the trees, but yeah, they're using these kills to get a tier 2 tower now. They are starting to build up some momentum. They're hoping for a fast Roche respawn, which unfortunately doesn't come their way, or they could have just taken Roche here. I think Fnatic will be breathing a sigh of relief that they don't have to play into an Aegis as well as free Ag Shard.
What's the scaling really like here, Fnatic? Because they are down 3,000 gold, and it does look like we're going to be going to the later stages. So do Fnatic have to be a little bit worried?
I think they scale just fine. Like heroes like Ember, you get like this, you know, level 25, as well as your Refresher if you want to go Refresher with the Ag Scepter. Razor can still scale quite a bit. I think this hero has some really nice level 25 talents as well. So I don't think they're going to necessarily get outscaled, but at the same time, Tiny's more of your traditional carry who, you know, physical damage is naturally just going to go a bit better late game than what the Razor or Ember does. And I think Razor's going to be very reliant on getting off very long duration static links to limit Palos' damage output.
I guess just a concern as well is just how does Jabs really look to play this late game? Because he's gone Atos pipe, and you see he hasn't really transitioned as far in the net worth as what Tino's done so far. Has had a really solid Queen of Pain performance, so I'm intrigued to see on how Jabs can play these later fights.
Yeah, I think his game is pretty rough because there's so many. Everyone has their BKBs, Lotuses, Venge Swap, Abaddon Shield. Getting people in Pit of Malice is tricky, and outside of Pit of Malice, he doesn't do a whole lot in these team fights. Like, that's his major contribution in a team fight.
Ah, yes, a good old Harpy Scout. They've got a ward on the higher gun. You got Monkey for vision. How do you actually enter a fight for Execration off of all of these 3 things?
It seems like the Coddle is, I guess, just got this helm for some scouting and stuff. I was a little thrown off by this pickup, but he's using, the flying over the Roshan pit just to give constant scouting and vision. It's a pretty nice little gimmicky use of the Harpy, and it's definitely legit.
It's broken, Parker. Come on, we can say it.
Broken?
It's broken. It's stupid. What is this? It's so much vision. Why is it flying? Like what? Oh my.
We're gonna start seeing, it's gonna be like old Dota where you look around and it's like somebody has to buy helm. Like I remember old school Dota, it's like who's buying the Vlads this game? Like because every game somebody needs to buy a Vlads. You got to get the aura.
And it's cool as well because there could be games where you're requiring a break, and that's where you don't have it in your. You haven't drafted for it. Hey, let's go helm dom. Let's use this potentially.
They're gonna smoke up. Let's see what they can do here. Fnatic feel like they might want to make that next big play here. Roshan is up, so potential Aegis for whoever wins this fight.
Bob is up. Bay Shanks behind him. Let's get clips with a bound the strike as well. And this is key. Raven has been able to steal a little bit of damage, but an instant swap means that Palos hasn't lost too much. Trying to find another angle in. DJ's giving them so much information. They're going to see him though. The edict soon to expire. It's the blink away, but that's where Palos enters the fight. Onto Jabs, but now Palos, he's stuck in the middle, and Raven, who's starting to dish out the damage as Palos just drops. Doesn't matter about the BKB, and Fnatic have firm control of this fight. Two are gone, and this could open up the pit or open up more targets.
Sin's expectation.
Yeah, you can fights like this. You can see the how to play against the Venge. Like they disengage after the swap save on the first link. They disengage and Venge swap. It's a low cooldown, but still 40 seconds, and you're fighting like maybe 15, 20 seconds later. Because Venge doesn't die, you don't get that second swap, that second magic missile, and they really needed it because Razor re-engaged with Refresher. Static Link BKB gets on top of the Tiny, and that's just a free kill. So I think if you're Venge, you really just got to be positioned in front of your entire team because your goal is to actively die in these fights to reset these cooldowns.
I really don't think Raven could have got a better neutral item this game. Spider Lace is just...
True. It's a beauty. Nice. Especially for Razor, who doesn't benefit from a lot of the traditional carry neutral items like your Paladin sword and stuff. Like that, those are just items that aren't as good on Razor, so very nice to get the legs.
Sees Tino's position with the blink. Tino's going further inside the base. One more tree. Oh.
Beansgate wore off.
One fight, and now Fnatic can put themselves back in the driver's seat. They have the Aegis advantage. Did you see where the shard got given over to?
I did not.
Ember, I
Click
think.
around. Looks like Ember. Yeah, he's Ember or Coddle. Both have shards. Coddle bought his, so yeah, Ember.
The timing soon to be hit for... You have a DD on Palos, which is scary. Sliver as well. Best neutral item for a Tiny. Of course, he gets lucky with the Sliver. I feel like you need it when you're against the Razor. Come on, they counterpicked him. Give me some luck.
Hey, this DD is huge. Tiny one of those heroes that gets huge value out of double damage, and they really want this fight to happen.
Yeah, Jabs pops the smoke. They have to ward on the higher ground, so the ping's instantly coming out. It's going to swap in from Chase. Look at man, Palos just tears apart the Underlord, but it's going to be protected for some time. Glimmer Cape out, lay down the Wukongs, but it's unable to do anything. As Palos turns to the Amber, a couple swipes, but it's not enough. As Armo somehow gets the Remnant out to safety. A 1-for-1. Still, how can they continue to take this as DJ's giving them the vision? Armel and all Fnatic, they're just trying to TP out, and wow, they make it.
Oh man, Shanks, he had the wave there at the end. He was just, you know, he guesses where in the trees they are because he can wave into swap, cancel those TPs, but he just doesn't get the read on where they are TPing in the trees. So Fnatic able to get out, cut their losses, only end up losing Jabs' Underlord, which, you know, he got jumped. He was going to die regardless there. Felt like they could have lost a whole lot more with Ember getting as low as he did. They do lose the Aegis there, but that was, I think, something that Fnatic would be more than happy to kind of give away to salvage what was looking to be a really bad fight for them.
Dire are scanning.
And I'm trying to see. DJ, who's got that clue? It looks like Bob's gonna run into the Monkey King in the tree line, so pro DJ's bitten off a bit more than he can chew. As Bob will pick up a little freebie. Can
nice.
Can Execration get any map control out of this? They are trying to push onto the opposite side, taking some of the farm away from Fnatic.
For initiations mid, but Fnatic doing a good job just playing keep away. Like, you lose a Monkey King, you lose a lot of that scouting and vision potential, but they're still being ran at it. Jeez, Chenzo. He has the Force Staff to get away, but he's got to be careful now without the borrowed time. Ember?
Bob's actually going to jump in. Aggressive blink. They get the first stun, but the follow-up. Up there's Armel. And then now, playing with the numbers disadvantage, but Fnatic, they are still stalling.
Yeah, they want to defend this ward, and Vincenzo just walks into it. He has the Force Staff away, but...
Another Lotus.
Okay.
The same position, pretty much. That Lotus Orb bounced back the Atos. Oh, hang on. Are we watching a replay for a second?
He knows where this ward is, and Fnatic are like, we're defending this ward to the death. Don't you dare come up here, Abaddon. We will push you away. Even without the borrowed time, he still survives the Fnatic onslaught there, so... Some great defensive play, the Force Staff, as well as having the backup from the Lotus Orb.
Ino's got an overwhelming blink, so he's very difficult to kill as well. 3,100 health on a Queen of Pain. You really wouldn't expect this at all.
Yeah, and having the... It's just doing cheesy little plays. Yeah, you overwhelming blink in, plus scream, kill a creep wave, then you've got the blink to get away. So, you know, the double blink is... you know, kind of fun to use, but also it does have some actual practical benefits here.
Again, really concerned on how the Underlord is able to have impact to the later stages, because of course BKBs, so the Firestorm's not going to do much, Pit's not going to do much. It looks like it's going to come down to his items, and Halbert's the choice to prevent Palos, but oh, it's very going to be difficult for Jabs to get a footing.
One thing you'll have going for them is most of these BKBs are all down to 6 seconds now. So, you know, if you can stall out the BKBs, there's still other stuff to deal with to get those big pits off, but definitely it starts to feel a whole lot nicer.
I'm going to try and bring down Jabs. If he steps over the tower range, let's look at the start. Charging forward, a bit of BKB. They can still get the swap outside the base, Fnatic. Oh, they're coming though. They don't want to let their offlaner die for free, and well, he won't even fall. As Tino gets the first kill, and then instant buyback is GJ. Look at a rejoin, but Bob, the BKB TP out. I don't think they're going to have the damage, but Fnatic, they're eyeing up any other targets that have stuck around for a little bit too long, and well, that target will be Shanks. Tino? What's he doing in there? What? Tino blink in a couple of seconds. Warmel's off for the combo.
I don't know how he ended up in the base, but hey, all's well that ends well.
Roche's up. I really don't have the fastest lineup to take it.
Yeah, they trade supports there, but the big thing is DJ does commit his buyback. So, you know, these late game fights, every buyback matters, even if it's a support. And DJ's not someone who's going to be claiming the Aegis, even if they do secure themselves Roshan here, but they've got to wait for quite some time. DJ
doesn't have heroes behind him. Nice balance strike just before the blink away. He's going to go for a TP out. Can they refresh any stuns? They do just that, so Tino has to cancel the TP, but Mel has got so much mobility. Another blink? Oh,
he's living.
What?
Blink
Tino's
into blink? Into another blink? Oh.
He's got the level 25. Dude, Tino's so mobile.
Damn.
DJ's hunting. Maybe with a Jingu. Oh, it's a lot of damage. Tino. What?
He lives. I was just about to like go off like, Tino, what are you doing? Why don't you use BKB TP? But you know, he lives. He lives. So Fnatic are just going to be wondering how the hell do we kill this Squap, and setting up bottom. They could make a play here. Unfortunately, it's Armel who's not the easiest kill.
How do they ever kill him? Is it like a swap into Split Earth, perfect timing? I don't know how he dies.
Or yeah, swap into Avalanche maybe, so you get the insta-stun there potentially, but it's tricky.
We'll 19, 1, and 7, Armel. Cliff.
It's Execration who, regardless of how well Ember's done, have managed to accrue the gold lead, and they're the ones pressuring this high ground down bottom. They're just sticking around knowing that Fnatic have to stay here, and if they can force all Fnatic back and keep them away from the Roshan pit, that's going to set up Execration themselves to maybe secure this Roshan. They know it's respawning potentially, you know, 30 seconds from now to the next, like, in the next 3 minutes, so they want to now play around that Roshan area.
Good timing, but they still have the vision. Shanks trying to step into swap, but Palace is going to find an angle. Oh, they're on top of him. That's how you kill him. Just like that. As Execration get a big one. Armel can look to rejoin, but Raven's going to get slammed down. Palos, who cares about the counter? Let me itemize to one-hit heroes. Oh, Execration, what a fight. And Tino, he's not done. He's jumping towards Januel, but on the high ground, the Underlord, he doesn't even get the Fiend's Gate out. So Execration, a 17,000 net worth lead, and they have a huge window. Could they just end it? No buyback on Razor. This is at least 2 full sets.
I think they may go for the end. They know Ember defending is possible, but it's tricky. He can't position too aggressively because he's got no buyback too. If they kill Armel, this is over.
What is his damage? What is this tiny hero with Leveler? Nice swap. Underlord ripped apart. Jabs can only get some abilities off. That's a dieback for the Underlord. Oh, they're respecting the potential.
Yeah. Going for the Megas. They want to close this one out. Abaddon, I mean, you know, very quiet hero in terms of its impact, but he's just the one constantly shielding everybody up, keeping them healed, and the push continues. That's Megas for you.
They'll get Megas and probably thrown as well. With how fast they push. You got to put your bodies on the line, and Armel's going to look to do just that. But the one stun into the follow-up. Palace needs to get lucky with the crits, and, well, he's perfect with the chain control anyways. Execration. What a game one performance. Even against the counters, they take game one 45 minutes in. Oh, my.
Yeah, Fnatic, you know, they made some kind of cute plays here and there using the new Underlord ultimate, the Fiend's Gate. Unfortunately, just didn't amount to a whole lot. Like, some nice kills to really slow down Palos, but eventually he came online, and the physical damage that he could dish out, the burst potential with, like, the Sonic Wave, the Leshrac hit level 25 with the Edict, the extra Edict explosions too. So they had all the answers to these BKBs. Like, Razor would BKB, and he can't steal enough damage. Like, static link against Tiny, great in the early to mid game, but later on, this Tiny's hitting for like 600 plus damage, and at that point, you don't want to run in static link him because he's just going to turn and clobber you, and Fnatic really felt the pain in the late game against this Tiny.
We saw in the cams as well, it was really just business for Execration. No little laughs, high fives, nothing going crazy. It's business for them. Only a game one victory, but what an exciting one. We get to see the experimentation of this Underlord. I like the Fiend's Gate. I hope we can see it a little bit more. But Execration as well. Tino showing that the Cop can be played as a 3, going for a really wonky item build. But, I mean, this sets us up perfectly. A lot of people may be expecting a 2-0 for Fnatic, but it's Execration that strike first in our game one. And we'll send it to a break where we have the panel to come back and break this one down.